all of these things just need to die. Anything that the original creator is not there for anymore just needs to go.
Our new show is Touched by an Angel. I said, Sarah, imagine the show now.
I know.
Can you imagine what kind of propaganda they would try and show? Today on the show, we debate which is better, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Do we recommend breaking the bro code?
And CNN claims that Americans have never been wealthier. Do you believe them?
All this and more on another episode of the Blimey Cow Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Blimey Cow Podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jordan.
This week's question is, are you a console gamer or a PC gamer?
Do I answer this right now? Or?
No.
That's
next
I can't.
week.
That one, I mean, I know the answer to that one for myself, as usual.
I actually don't know.
I'm torn a little bit.
I don't know what you're going to say, to be completely honest. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
I think it'll be interesting. We'll see. All right. Thanks so much to our supporters at supportblimeycow.com for making this show possible. And a huge shout out to Praise. That's right. The name is Praise. Pretty cool name.
That is cool.
Who just became a supporter this week. And also check out the Clips channel. Everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment. YouTube.com/@BlimeyCowClips. Boy, by the time this episode is up tomorrow, it could be 500.
Well, our John Fetterman clip apparently we debunked the conspiracy theory. It just blew up.
Like a month late, you debunked it, and for some reason that clip still is like the most viewed clip on our channel.
That's how it goes. Josh, I want to tell you a little something.
Tell me.
I washed my AirPods this week.
You washed them?
No. Like they were in my pants.
Yeah.
And I washed them, and I have them here, and.
Do
you know
what?
Let me tell you something about these AirPods. These things could not hold a charge to save their life. Like I would literally put the left one and the right one in, and the left one would die immediately. I washed these babies, and now they work perfectly. So I would suggest out there if you are on your don't wash this part, but wash these. If you wash the earbuds, not airbud, if you wash the earbuds, if you're gonna just throw this away because it doesn't work, just at least try washing the earbud parts and see if it works. And it worked for me.
All right.
So all that earwax is now gone.
That is amazing. Yeah, that's the thing nobody talks about with the AirPods is how difficult it is to make them not look disgusting. Like I wouldn't want anybody to see my AirPod case.
No,
nobody wants to share that information with anybody.
No, I just washed them.
Anything else going on this week before we get rolling?
This is the white t-shirt. This isn't the white t-shirt that has the stain on it. I bought another one.
That clip completely tanked.
Did it? Well, then don't make this a clip. Okay. What Jordan learned about a stained white t-shirt.
But it is great getting that feedback about every section of our show every week. It's like, all right.
Oh, that's so true.
Let's
cut out the white t-shirt. Don't even put that in. Don't just cut that out.
Okay. Question of the week. Jordan, last week we asked the party people, but not the potty people.
No, or not the party poopers.
The party poopers. I was like, I said, I was like, that's not right, but it's close. I was like, but what would be close to that?
Okay.
People. Last week we asked Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
I gotta know your answer. I always give my answer first, so I gotta know yours.
I don't know. It depends on how you want to look at it.
That's a wimpy answer.
I know.
You just need to give a straight up
I
answer.
think
Which would you rather watch?
Star Wars.
Okay, which is the better story?
Lord of the Rings.
Okay. See, Star Wars is your bias.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We all have a bias.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the answer. See, it's like Dr. Phil. We helped you today.
I think Star Wars tells the current zeitgeist, whereas Lord of the Rings has eternal truth in it.
That's right.
I don't think there's a lot of like eternal truth in Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff that feels true in Star Wars, whereas Lord of the Rings is more,
Yes.
hey, here's how life works.
Yeah.
What about you?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
See, because like people are gonna burn me at the stake for this, but I didn't watch the original Star Wars that much. I mean, like I watched them when I was a child, but I've never felt compelled to go back and watch those because I remember them, but I don't have this like connection to them. I have a connection to the action figures.
That's right.
From those eras. So like when I watched that, it's like, oh,
that's... the video games.
In the video games, but like I didn't watch the movies that much. I watched like the Darth Maul. What is that one?
Phantom Menace.
Like all these ones that weren't really that good.
Uh-huh.
But I like those ones because I watched them when I was a kid. So, but I know that childlike bias and why I like the Darth Maul, like as a character and stuff.
Yeah.
I like the fight scene. But if you're talking about just Lord of the Rings, man, it's just so good. Like everything about it.
Have you ever actually read the books?
I've read the first one, the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah. I need to do that.
I mean,
I feel
they
dumb
did
that I haven't.
Well, they did such a good job with the movies that when you read the books,
Right.
like it is like watching the movie.
That's what they're gonna burn you at the stake for.
Well, hey,
There are so many differences, Jordan. Did you even read it? I
they
don't think you
literally
read it.
like. I think that Peter Jackson, which is the guy who. It's amazing. I
That is
know that
impressive.
guy's face too, by the way. It's like he read the book and then said, okay, here, let's just do what the book said. When it comes to like what the scenes look like and everything like that. Like you can just visualize it.
I read an interview with Ian McKellen, the guy who played Gandalf, where he basically said between days of shooting, Ian McKellen would be like reading through Lord of the Rings, and Peter Jackson would just be reading through Lord of the Rings, and Ian McKellen would go to him and be like, "Can we change this part to be more like this because this is more like the book?"
Yeah, that's what it
Isn't
feels
that
like.
impressive?
That's cool.
I have a deep thought that relates to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Really?
And where those two franchises are in the current landscape of life and how they're kind of ruined right now.
They've ruined with the Amazon thing?
Yeah. And then
No.
Disney has kind of destroyed Star Wars.
Yeah.
I have a deep thought about this.
Okay.
right.
That's today?
Oh, that's today.
Oh, great.
I'll be sharing that later.
Okay, well, let's get to Christian meme review. What show? I thought this was Lost. I thought that was Kate, but it's clearly
It
not.
kind of does. No, I don't know, but that's Anthony Hopkins. I
Well,
think.
this is like a twin version. This is Kate, and then this is Locke in like a different world.
Okay, what's your meme?
Mine is like multiple in one. It gets funnier
Oh,
as
okay.
you. What the f?
Video has no sound.
It does have sound though. Why is it doing this?
Maybe the first one doesn't.
No, it does. I've watched this on my phone. Screw this.
Just show me on your phone.
Is it gonna be in Gmail?
I didn't get to watch your Sprint Final video yet.
Where is? Here's
Oh, that's okay.
I know. I just picked this like before I left, so it's not like it's like something's glitching.
This is the worst.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Guess what? Grows the economy. Benefits everybody. Hurts nobody.
Have some compassion! Because it really affects people!
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Let's party! Let's go!
That's funny.
When I first saw that, I was like, okay, another Michael Scott. I love The Office memes, but I was like, it's been done a million times. And I was like, oh, wait, I can keep swiping. And it just kept getting funnier and funnier.
Those are the best on those Instagram, those meme pages when you realize, oh, there's like more memes.
That's the first one I'd ever seen like that. That shows how much I look at them.
Well, pay more attention. Look for that arrow because
Yes.
things can get real spicy real quick. All right, so 2 times previously on this very podcast, we have played a game where we quiz each other on old contemporary Christian music.
And we've
from
done
the 90s, early 2000s.
We've both done very well.
I've kind of structured mine a little bit. I've got easy, medium, and then hard ones for you this week, okay?
All right.
There are 10 total, 4 easy ones. We're going to start with those. So Jordan's going to get like a 1 to 2 seconds for each song.
Okay.
And he's going to tell us if he knows. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here's the first one.
We got a trail. And that's Stephen Curtis Chapman. I don't know the song.
Okay.
Saddle Up Your Horses.
Saddle Up Your Horse.
Okay, yeah, that was an easy bet.
That's what it should be called.
You know something about Stephen Curtis Chapman, Josh?
Liquid Death.
He drinks liquid death. That's all you need
That's
to
what
know.
you had to say. Next one.
I mean, I want to say, I don't know the song. It's Kirk Franklin. And
Yeah.
I don't know the song.
Well, you're singing Revolution, but it's not Revolution.
No,
It
there's
is-
another
It's
song.
the other Kirk Franklin song.
Yeah, I know. That's the one I'm singing.
It's called Stomp. Makes me wanna stomp. You can't take my joy, devil. Makes me.
Say I didn't get that one. I didn't know it was that song.
This is the third easy one.
You know, Sarah the other day was
Where's this going?
she just picked up the guitar. Like, why? She's never picked this thing up in her
Why
life.
would you do this?
So she played something, and I was like, "That was Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer," and I was like, "Wait a second." And so I took the guitar and learned how to play it by myself in like 2 seconds. And she was like, so you learned that before?" And I was like, "No, it's just like D, G, and something else. It's like the most basic every chord." And it amazed her that I could just pick that up. So I impressed my wife.
Wonder what she did next.
Then she kissed me.
That's right.
In the secret, it's from Extreme Days. I don't know the song. I want to know you. That's it. I want to hear your voice. I want to know you more. I want to know you more.
By who? Who sings this
I don't
song?
know. Sonic Flood.
There you go. Sonic Flood.
Total
You got
guess.
it. Good job. All right, we're moving on to the medium.
Oh, that was an
difficulty
easy
songs.
one?
That was an easy one. Yeah, that was an easy
no.
one. We've talked about that song on the podcast.
That's true.
All right.
It does it so many times.
Does it help to do it?
No, it doesn't, because I was waiting for the next thing to come and it wasn't coming to my mind. I don't know.
Hold the milk, put back the sugar.
Oh, that's right. That's sad. Because
Do you know what it is?
Well, it's Newsboys, but it's Breakfast in Hell.
Breakfast in Hell. All right, here's the next one.
I don't know.
Really?
You're giving. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like I'm getting these songs where the intro, it leads into the actual song, and that part completely stops. and it's like there's a song, which is fine.
that's
I
the
should
intro.
know. No, I know it's the intro, but then that never happens again in the rest of this. No, it does. It does happen in the song. It happens.
Who is it? Come on, give me a name.
No, it's Switchfoot. I thought
okay.
that was obvious after you told me. Like
Okay. The song's called Gone.
Like yesterday is gone.
All right, here's the next one.
Okay.
I helped you out with that one. That's actually not the beginning of the song.
Oh, is it?
That's where it starts when it plays on the radio.
Well, it's
So
audio
helping-
adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gotta get to the chorus. I get down, he lifts me up. I get
There
down,
you
he
go.
lifts me. There we go. I have to do it. It's sad.
All right, you've at least known most of these, even if
Yeah.
you didn't get it right. So here are the 3 hard ones. Get ready.
As Jars of Clay,
Wow.
I remember the guitar because I remember thinking that's nice.
That's nice.
I don't know the song though, to be honest
It
with you.
seems it's always the...
Crazy Time. That's such a good song. I completely forgot about that song. I'm gonna listen to that on the way home.
I thought that was the one you weren't going to get at all.
No,
I thought
no.
the guitar was a little too basic that you
No.
you would mess up.
I think I remember that.
I made that clip a little longer just to help
Thank
out.
you.
Okay, here we go. I can't believe I haven't stumped you once. I want to go.
Deeper, but I don't know how to swim. I want to swim deeper.
Do you remember who sings it?
And I want to fly. Oh, it's like Paul Coleman Trio.
Wow.
Is it not?
No, but it is like an Australian band, Delirious. Remember Delirious?
I do.
That was like their big song. Last one. I like he's gonna know this one or have no idea.
It's the W's. It's like the song where he's like talking about hell. I mean, he's talking about the Garden of Eden and all that stuff. I don't remember the song's name.
The devil is bad.
Yeah, the devil's bad.
You are the devil and the devil is bad.
You are the devil. I will always remember when I first saw that CD cover. We were at where you eventually worked at the Family Christian Bookstore, and I just was drawn to that CD cover. I said, "Mom, can I have this?"
I remember that the W's was one of your CDs.
Yes, and I listened to it all the time.
Yeah.
At first, I thought that it was the OC Supertones until I started to sing it in myself, and I was like, "Oh, that's the."
Oh, they
W's.
were definitely inspired by the OC Supertones. All right, good job, Jordan. I'll give you a
Whatever.
pass. You
I
passed.
passed.
All
Good.
right.
Thank you. Hi, Jordan and Josh. So I have an online friend, let's call him Alex, that has feelings for me. I told Alex that I was not interested, and we are still great friends. Now, here's the problem. I have feelings for another guy. Let's call him Bernard. And he is Alex's best online friend. Bernard definitely knows that Alex has feelings for me. So would he make a move on me if he was interested? Wouldn't that break the bro code? You see, I'm not sure that Bernard has feelings for me, but I'm wondering if the bro code could be preventing him from pursuing me. What do you think?
Anonymous is wondering if Bernard might like her too, but is not going to make a move because it would violate the bro code.
Oh, because Alex likes Anonymous.
Yes.
Look, I've had this situation in the past. Like, there was this girl that I was like, you know, when we're like instant messaging each other, like as kids. You know, you're like 15.
As one does in the
And
early
this-
2000s.
This like went on for a while. Like, we grew up together.
Okay.
And so it was always this thing of like, oh, do they like each other or what? And you know, I don't know. Yeah. And then at the same time, when we got older, it was like we kind of went separate ways, whatever. But it was always like this lingering thing. It was like, oh, well, I guess this is like a possibility if things ever went somewhere. So then I get a call from my friend, not that friend, but like my other friend.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, so I hadn't talked to this girl in a very long time. And he was like, hey, so me and this girl we were thinking of dating, and I want to know if that was okay with you. And I was like, wow, I respect that, but it was also like, I felt like this was like so long ago in some way that like I didn't need to be called, but it was still nice.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the bro code in action. I felt respected. I thought that it was nice that they thought of me.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever broken the bro code?
no, I've never.
No, you would never do such a thing.
I was never in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had friends who liked people who I was like, okay, like that girl is pretty, but like, I'm not gonna ask her out.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of
Yeah.
was the. So so that kind of washed my hands of all that stuff. They had infatuations
Yeah.
with people that they didn't even know. It was just like, oh well, she's hot. So
right.
then I was like, all right.
I think that's how I feel about it. It's like, dude, you'll get over it. If I've got a chance here, I got to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I think that, well, she's not even asking. She's just saying, do you think Bernard might like me? Like, what is she going to do? Say, hey, Bernard, I like you. I don't know if this is weird because Alex does and likes me. And if you want to ask me out, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's going to kind of be his decision.
Yeah.
I don't even think that you should say anything about it other than just drop heavy hints.
Right.
And see if he acts on it. And if he does, then that's.
She needs to do some light flirting, I think. Because
Yeah.
if she starts flirting, like, I don't care what morals this guy has, what scruples, what bro code he's trying to.
Yeah, it's all
adhere
out
to.
the
He's
window.
like, all right, look, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
When I didn't think there was a chance, I was all about adhering to the bro code. But as soon as I've got a shot here,
Yeah.
deal's off.
Exactly. I think that a little slight flirting will bring everything to light.
Be a little flirty.
It needs to happen. God created flirting. He did. He did. What do you think? I think that he should break the bro code, and I think that you need to give him the clues to break it.
Yeah.
He's like in one of those rooms where he has to escape. He's in
Yeah.
the bro code room.
Yeah.
and you have to get the answer. You're like the guy who's like, no, don't touch that over there. No, you're not close.
If only the code was 7H52. Alex is going to be fine too.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be okay, especially since these are all just like online friends.
Oh, everything's out the window.
He'll be
with
in a
that.
different Discord channel in 5 seconds talking to someone else. He'll be all good.
Yeah, he's fine.
Unless, he's like me, and then he'll be devastated for like months over this.
That's right, but we never know.
But
So you
I,
gotta live.
I was weird growing up.
Well,
so.
that's right, Josh. Josh is so obsessed with this weirdness. Good news or bad news? Now, Josh, you have a news article from CNN saying that Americans have never been wealthier.
That's what the article says. When you see that headline, Americans have never been wealthier. What do you think? Because I'm a little conflicted.
I am too, because I see the housing market, particularly in Nashville, just insane.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, are we just in like a weird city where this is happening, or is this happening everywhere, or what?
Yeah.
And or does it feel like, yeah, I guess people are wealthier than ever, considering it both feels like that and doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
It feels like it could all fall apart, but then at the same time, it's like, but this doesn't feel like 2008 for some reason. It feels very different from 2008. Maybe because the internet is so big and a lot of people have made at least some form of income, even if it's part-time online. So like, I don't know. It just feels different because in 2008, when everything fell apart, it was like, oh, okay, we actually have to go out and get jobs at places. Now there's more options. And so people can make supplemental incomes other ways. But I don't know.
If I feel like a lot of those supplemental incomes, when you can like have the internet work for yourself, it's all predicated on
the people having the real jobs out there.
People having real jobs, making real money, and you entertaining them.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. So once those people are screwed, when the people who are actually out there doing the hard labor and no one's building anything anymore, well,
right, it's the one domino falls.
Yeah,
I'm always conflicted because on one hand, I think I agree with this, but not in the way that they're talking about it. Because think about it like this. If we lived by the standards of Little House on the Prairie, if you were okay with that standard of living, and you were still making the same amount of money, you're the wealthiest person that there ever was. You could just sit there and just count your stacks of cash.
Yeah, you wouldn't have electricity, you wouldn't have plumbing, you would have no utilities.
You would just have thousands of dollars in bills each year that you're not paying.
Yeah.
But Jordan, this data is not adjusted for inflation. That's key.
Okay.
So they're trying to push this idea that, without adjusting for inflation, that like, hey, you're richer than you've ever been. Your net worth because of your house and the stock market, everything is good.
Yeah, but it feels like, well, like we always say, like, well, wait, if we sell our house, where can we move?
Right.
Like if I sold my house, who knows how much my house is worth now, considering it's like we both live so close to downtown Nashville.
Right.
It's like everybody wants to move here, it seems like.
Right.
But like I couldn't even
I couldn't even move out even further.
To buy 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere with not even a house would probably cost me the amount that I would get from my house.
Really?
Probably.
Wow.
I would probably be able to build a shack on it with the money that I had left.
How do people afford houses anymore?
They don't. I think that everything is based off of people who I really think that we're really getting into a crazy two-tiered system at this point for people who want to buy houses. Yeah. We got in when houses were cheaper.
We got in right at
dude. I mean, it's a miracle from God that we got our houses.
Because I was so conflicted about buying, because we had a really good, for the first 4 years we were married, we had a really good random situation. Yeah. It was a landlord we knew, a guy who it was someone we knew who had some rental properties. He was desperate to have a tenant who would pay.
Yeah.
And so he said, look, whatever you're going to pay for that apartment you guys are about to move into, I'll take that same amount. And I was like, $625? Yeah, I'll do it. And it was like for a whole townhouse. Walking away from that was very hard. But with everything now in hindsight, it was the best decision we ever made.
Oh, I mean, truly.
And now, yours is even better.
Yeah, but now people who are wanting to buy houses, how do you get it? There's so many people who have accumulated so much wealth. Like with Airbnbs and all this rental stuff now in Nashville that nobody can buy. Nobody who has a normal job in Nashville can live here anymore in a house.
Well, and part of it too is that since so many people want to move here, anytime a house goes up for sale, the investors come in and buy them,
Right.
And they rent them out.
So I was reading something that was saying that it's all kind of a bubble right now, but it's all masked because of Airbnbs and because whatever you would consider the ultra wealthy, like in our class, whoever the ultra wealthy is, they've bought so many Airbnbs that they can wait this out for a long time, even if nobody is going to Airbnbs right now, because people are trying to save money. They're like, well, it doesn't really matter because we bought these we bought them outright.
Yeah.
So they can wait that out, whereas so it'll start to fall like dominoes. Some people who got in, like say if I went in to get an Airbnb last year, I have a big payment on that still, but no one's going to Airbnbs. So I'm like, well, I can maybe wait this out 6 months. So they're going to slowly start falling. And then at some point, the big guys are like, this is worthless right here, right now. So I'm just going to sell too. And that's when all the houses are going to come up. That's the theory.
Because the environment has been the way it has been for so long, I'm trying to imagine a scenario where the price of houses goes down and people don't just immediately start buying them up as soon as they go down in price. That's what makes me think is like either the crash is going to have to be like huge where it completely shifts the attitudes of everybody like, I'm not buying a house right now. I don't know how far down this is going to fall. But the other thing too, further to your point, is that there are so many people moving from California to here and to other places. Those houses have always been expensive. So if they're selling their houses, they're buying for cash.
Yeah.
And when you're buying for cash, you can't really compete with that. And so it's just keeping the price of everything more and more expensive.
And that's how it feels like out here. In Nashville, if you're not from here, in Nashville, it feels like this will never end.
Right.
It feels like even if the economy crashes, Nashville will still be this way.
And there are places around the country where prices have fallen, but here it's like even if they don't go, like they might stop going up as high as fast, but they're still going. Like they're still
they've
going,
stagnated
or they've flattened. Nothing is like getting cheaper, and that's what I'm wondering. It's like because as soon as things do get cheaper,
more people from California would move here.
Right. It's just like, oh, did you hear the houses are going down? Okay, go, buy.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm wondering. Like the investors will do the same thing. They'll say, "Look, I'll just pay for cash." And that goes back to this too, because it's not like they're dividing it up and saying, "Well, hold on, okay, just because overall there's more wealth, well, okay, does that mean that the rich people have more money and the poor people have less?" But when you total it up, it's wealthier than ever before.
That's
how it feels to me.
Yeah, it feels like a more tiered system now.
Because when all your friends literally like have to move an hour away.
Yeah, when you witness that all the time.
That's not normal.
No.
It's like anybody I know that has bought a house in the last 3 or 4 years had to move an hour away.
Yeah.
They're living out further away because that's the only place you could afford a property. Yeah. Even then it was more, it's houses an hour away out in the middle of nowhere are more than what we bought our houses for. Yeah. And we got more house.
It's crazy. I feel ridiculous. So bad for people.
I do too. So, but the guy who runs JCPenney told CNN that his company's core customers, which is working class families, are increasingly relying on credit cards, falling behind on bills, and shifting to cheaper private label brands. So it's like on one hand, the article is saying, yeah, people are never wealthier, but also they're going into debt. They're falling behind on their bills. It's like
I think that is. I bet that's what's going to happen. I bet the middle class and the lower middle class are going to keep falling further behind, and as they keep falling further behind, the people who have a lot of money saved up are just going to buy all the houses and rent them out to the wealthy people,
or they're going to rent them out to the people who can't afford houses, and so they'll just never be able to afford houses.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it's going to be.
Where do we go from here? Like, when you see articles like this that are just so blatantly, like, obviously not true to any anecdotal evidence you see around you, like, is it good that they're trying to pump this out to like gaslight people?
Well, they want to say that their party member is doing a good job.
Yeah.
CNN wants you to believe everything's great.
Does this wake people up to be like, what are they talking about? Like, even the normies? No. Or do they just say, oh, no, I guess I do have more money than I thought I did?
I talked to somebody recently who it was like, you just read the talking points. And it was sad because it was it was just.
I'm informed.
Exactly.
I saw the corporate headline.
Yeah. But then they said the opposite, but still said that what they heard was true. I was so confused. So I don't know.
I'm gonna think for myself for a second, but also it makes sense with what I heard
it was
on
like,
TV.
Well, they're wrong, but then they went and said their actual experience. Like, but it is, and it was right, but it was wrong. It was strange.
Most people just want to fit in.
Yes.
I'm not smart enough to have the answers, so whoever's in charge must know what's up. I guess I have a lot of money, even though I can't afford to pay my bills. Things must be good because that's what I was told. Because the alternative is too scary. The alternative that you're just being lied to at all points by a corporate press. Well, I don't
But where do you go then? Because like,
I was
lied to by my parents. And so now I've gone the other direction, and now they've lied to me too. Well, I really have to think for myself.
That's true.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Wow, that is interesting. Like everyone's like, but I don't know. To me, I've never had a problem just thinking I'm being lied to.
Oh, I know. That's the thing. But we grew up weird.
Oh, you were weird too growing up?
Josh, we, without going into our entire life history, like, we grew up in a world where we felt like the authorities, and not our parents, but the authorities that be out in the world are just trying to screw you.
Yeah.
And so
we had good reason to believe these things.
Huh?
We had good reason to believe these things.
We were right.
Yeah.
And so we've always grown up with this ultra like skeptical that shaped our lives.
That is true.
But we had a respect for authority as well. We didn't just like say you're wrong, or at least I didn't. I just didn't say you're wrong, but it was like, okay, there's a chance that you're trying to screw us.
I think that I became more, but it's because I became more cynical for a variety of reasons. I think now, as you've gotten older, you have become more cynical.
Yes.
At the same time where I'm starting to have kids, so I'm trying to be more optimistic. And so you're where I was like 5 or 10 years ago. And I'm like, just wait it out. It gets better.
Yeah.
Hopefully. At least that's what I tell myself. All right. Bad news.
Facial recognition. I got a good facial recognition. Me and Sarah, we always have our shows we watch. We were watching The Nanny for a while. That ended. We were watching Step by Step. The last seasons were terrible, so that ended.
That's how every sitcom from the 90s was.
Well, the kind of...
They went on for like 3 years too long.
Yes, well, the dumb character in that, who was like the clown, but also had all the wisdom. I forget his name.
Steve Urkel.
No, in real life, he did some kind of like abuse to his wife, and so he got kicked off the show. And then the show just tanked after that.
Oh, okay.
Because there was no explanation,
if
and he was a great character.
His wife, it would have been a great show.
It would have been. But so our new show is Touched by an Angel, and
when you
I was telling Sarah, I said that is hands down the best theme song for like an adult TV show. And
Can you believe that was on TV like not even that long ago?
Well, I told Sarah,
it's hilarious.
I said, Sarah, imagine the show now.
I know.
Can you imagine what kind of propaganda they would try and show? We were watching this, and a character popped up, and I was like, so this is definitely like this guy from another TV show, but it wasn't, and I was utterly shocked because he looks identical to another character. Okay, here was the main character. This was the father who struggled with a sexual relationship with a high schooler.
That was his struggle.
They kissed in the episode, and I told Sarah, I said, "How did they do this?"
TV was very different.
No, they like made out.
At least
he was in high school.
All the kid actors back then were like in their 30s.
They were. That's how they got away with it.
You're gonna tell me that this is the dad from Seventh Heaven.
When I see their happy faces.
Who is it, Jordan? Please tell me. Oh, the professor.
It's the professor from. Why does it?
Wait, now hold on. You thought that was the same guy?
I truly thought that this was the same man.
Do you know when Gilligan's Island was on television?
That's what Sarah told me. She said, "Do you know how long ago that was?" And I said,
the 60s.
Yeah, but he was like in this episode. He was but this
Wow,
was
they do look very
This
similar.
was the 90s. This was like 92.
Yeah, he would have been like had to have been 20 years. I guess he could have been 20 years
22.
older if he had had a little surgery done and a little hair dye, perhaps. Wow,
These guys were like.
he does look like an older professor. You're
Let
right.
me tell you, because there was a guy in here who was a young man, and he was having struggles with, I guess, the Vietnam War.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this guy looks like he's 40. And so that really colored
Okay,
my
I got
perspective
you.
of like, dude,
I
this
got
was
you.
an old show.
Yeah.
So I was like, this has got to be him. But first I thought that this was Jon Stewart.
You know what's weird to think is that that guy who played the professor was probably our age,
I know.
but he looks like an old man to me.
You know, I typed in today, I was like, because I wanted to know, like, was the professor on Touched by an Angel? So I typed in, was the professor, and then it starts filling in a bunch of stuff. What do you think it filled in? Like the top thing.
Was the professor making out with a teenager?
No. Was the professor asexual?
What? Oh,
And I was like, that's a great question.
that is a good question. Jordan, do you have a deep thought this week? Or?
My deep thought is that inspiration is like a painkiller. It's like morphine. Think about this.
That is true.
Inspiration
That is true.
is God's way of saying, you want to
gosh, you're
learn
right.
something new,
so
it's going to be a bumpy ride, especially at the beginning. You have no knowledge of this. Let's dump a ton of inspiration so that you can jumpstart past the hardest part
That
and
is
make
so
some
true.
kind of schedule for yourself. But if you literally were just like, oh, well, I want to learn Spanish, I have no inspiration. Like, what? How are you going to start a schedule to like really learn how to do this thing?
Yeah.
So the problem is when people have that inspiration, like me, when people have that inspiration, but then they never actually start like, okay, I have the inspiration. I learned a ton about this thing. I'm very good at it now. But like, I have no schedule. I didn't ever frame out a schedule for myself to continue the deeper learning. So then it just falls away.
Right.
And then it's very hard to get
You
back.
get addicted to that high of starting
Yes.
something new.
Exactly.
That's true.
And then, so that's what I mean. So that's how it's a painkiller too, because you get addicted to that, and then you never actually do anything. You just are constantly
Man, that
getting
is
inspired.
so true. But
So.
It's also true that when you first said that, the way I thought about it was, imagine that you are feeling kind of depressed or hopeless when you get the idea to like learn something new or do something new, and then that optimism and that rush of hope feels
Yes,
good
exactly.
too.
Well, that's true as well. So there you go. That was my deep thought. Simple,
Wow.
but
That's going to be a great clip. A little 60-second clip. It's going to blow up. All right. My deep thought is I've been thinking a lot about these big old corpos, these big corporations that keep buying these IPs or licensing them. Okay. So you have like Disney bought Star Wars, or Amazon is making this.
I thought you meant like an IP address. What do you mean IPs?
No, intellectual properties.
Okay.
I think a lot of people at this point, I'm going to talk specifically about Star Wars. I think people have given up hope. Like if you're like me, somebody who really enjoys Star Wars, but maybe isn't like the deepest fan of all time. Like when they say, all right, we're doing a new show, a new movie's coming out, I'm to the point where I don't even care anymore. It's like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I don't trust you anymore. I don't think you're capable of it. And even if you make something kind of good, it's like, well, that makes things worse because now you think you're doing a good job because you lucked into something good one time.
Yeah.
I would rather you just keep failing so that we can get this over with quicker. So all of these things just need to die. Anything that the original creator is not there for anymore just needs to go. It can't be shepherded by somebody else.
Yeah.
So imagine that you have a family and the family actually builds a house and they live in the house and it's beautiful. Then the family gets divorced and the husband says, I'm going to build a house next door to it. Just the husband. Now, it'll probably be kind of the same thing, but it's not going to be as good. And you can't look at that house and say, oh, we're going to have the same beautiful memories in it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I got remarried. I've got a new family now. It's going to kind of look like it.
Yeah.
Now imagine, so that's the prequels.
Yeah.
Now imagine that guy says, I'm leaving. I'm selling this to someone else. And someone else just moves into the house and is like, look, we've got the house now. Okay, but you're not
that's
the
a good-
guy.
yeah.
You're not the family.
Yeah.
So you can do things here, like you can play dress up and pretend like these are the same memories and things that happen. But the only thing that would actually be interesting is if you built a new house and made it interesting. And so I think I think the Star Wars is over. I don't think you can. Maybe every once in a while you'll get a Knights of the Old Republic or the first season of Mandalorian, something fun that is cool. You kind of luck into it, but it's like, is it worth all the?
It's like watching. It's exactly like watching the Titans just get to the playoffs and then lose. It's like, how many years have I spent? And if they won the Super Bowl one time, would it have been worth it? No. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know. Even with Lord of the Rings, I think that for a while that was kind of an exception because J.R.R. Tolkien's son shepherded it for a while and he was very protective of his father's work. I think that's a special exception. But now that he's gone...
Oh, wait. So was he still alive when they were making the movie?
Yeah, he just recently died.
Oh, so he had a lot of say in the movie.
He was a part of it.
He made sure that they weren't screwing with it before.
I'm having a recollection that, no, I think it's actually the opposite. I think that they weren't happy with how the movies turned out.
That's just being a straight up stickler.
No, but look, I wouldn't be too harsh to that guy because he really, he made his whole life protecting Lord of the Rings. And so to the point where when they made the movies, he was frustrated that it wasn't close enough. And to you, it was close enough.
That became that guy's god, is what that became.
But look, now he's gone, and what's the first thing that happens? We get Lord of the Rings Amazon show.
No, everybody's...
They're moving into... The Amazon moved into the house and is playing dress up.
I get that. But it's sad that he couldn't appreciate what they did with that movie.
I see what you're saying.
You can go too far.
I got what you're saying. Because, it did... There were a lot of people like me and like you who had heard of Lord of the Rings growing up and just assumed, it's some nerdy fantasy thing. Then you see the movies and you're like,
oh, wow.
I would have never read this book. Yeah. I would have never been interested in this story.
Now I got all the figurines, the toys.
Yeah, and I've watched this movie 100 times.
Literally. Quote the whole thing.
Yeah, so it's like for everything there is a time. And it's that time ends when the person who made it is no longer there. We can never sell Blimey Cow. It'll just
imagine if we did.
Right. What is that? Thing. I remember a long time ago, in the heyday, I remember seeing something that was like, you could sell your channel for this amount of money. And I was like, but why would anyone buy it? For if I wasn't a part, if you weren't a part of it anymore, what is it? It's just a channel with 100,000 that would just get...
That's like what Fred did. Remember Fred? In a way, Fred inspired Big Kid Kid in some sense.
I would say that is true.
Even though I didn't watch him much, but it was like, wow, this kid created a character, and it was like, that's cool.
Yeah, he did. Hey guys, it's Fred. It's Fred. Fred. Okay. What happens next? It gave me hope.
Yes.
Here we go.
The other day, I told Sarah, we need to walk 4 miles a day, straight. Just not even just walking 4 miles throughout, just walking around the house, but actually just committing straight 4 miles every day.
Yeah.
And I felt amazing. I felt great. I said 4 miles because that's for her steps. I kind of calculated it's 10,000 steps, and you want to hit 10. That's not 10,000 for me. That's 8,000. But I take bigger strides, longer strides.
Mine is I think 2,100 steps, I think
per
for a mile. For
same.
Me, something like that. Yeah.
Same. So that's really been great. We just wake up first thing, we go to the park, we walk 4 miles, we come home, we do the rest of our day, and it's been great. And I've realized I was having knee pain in my left knee, and I always heard people say, well, when you have a manual labor job that you don't need to exercise because you're exercising, and I was like, that's true, I guess, but there's something about intentionally doing a movement to heal something that is different.
The repetition.
Because you favor one side of your body when you're doing anything. And so that's what was happening with my knee. I was favoring my right leg. And so my left knee, when I would do certain things to it, if I was going down a steep incline, I could feel it. And I was like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
So when I've noticed that when we've been walking 4 miles, even just for we've done this for 5 or 6 days straight, in that short amount of time, my knee has felt like significantly better. Like when I'm going downstairs, I don't feel it. If I'm trying to do some kind of like one leg work to see how my knee is doing, it feels like it's still damaged in some way a little bit, but it has been significantly better. And the only thing that I've changed is walking 4 miles every day. So I don't know. I don't know if that is that reason, but I'm going to keep doing that and see if it. But it has given me hope. You just feel better.
I walk on the treadmill while I work, as I've mentioned before, and I always feel really good.
Something about building up that endurance of walking 4 miles and just have that being normal.
Yeah.
Just straight, not just half a mile here, quarter mile there. Something about just doing it for an hour and 10 minutes straight is like feels important.
I think I mean, most days I probably walk 6 or 9 miles.
Yeah.
At this point. And I always feel so good. And I know, that doesn't work for everybody with the kind of work you do, but since I have to be at the computer like editing and doing things, I was like, well, I might as well. I mean, instead of sitting and then having to remind myself to
stand.
And I think it's taken me over a year to finally get to where I don't even think about it.
Yeah,
like, it's not like, oh, this is exhausting, or I can't focus because my hands are shaking. I finally just have built up the poise and the balance and just like the frame of mind and the muscle in my legs and stuff that I can just walk at an incline at 3 miles an hour while I do most things. Every once in a while, I'm really having to think through something, and I'm like, all right, let me just stop for a second. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, I can do it. So that's really cool. Yeah. I 100% believe that is what has made your knee feel better.
That's what I think, too.
I'm glad to hear that.
And that's coming from somebody who does a ton of manual labor.
Right,
that's
exactly.
So it's like...
That 100% makes sense, though, because you're right. You are compensating when you're doing manual labor.
This forces you to balance the left leg, the right leg. And I'm conscious of this, so I might do a little bit more with my left knee if I'm doing something else.
Yeah. This writer's strike is still giving me hope.
It's still going on?
It's still happening. Dude, no crazy, signs that it's going to ever end. Okay, this is how bad it's gotten. At this point, okay, do you remember during COVID? Mm-hmm. Take yourself back for a second. Remember when stores started like trying to open and it was like, okay, guys, we tried to be good. We tried to be caring, but like at some point we
need to make money again.
We got to open up, right? And they're like looking around like, is this okay? Can I do this? You gonna get mad? That's what's happening with talk shows right now. The talk shows are trying to say like, look, we can technically do this without writers. It might not be as good.
Oh, interesting.
But they're getting like ostracized. It's just like everybody is trying to destroy everybody. So
wait, so the talk shows aren't even on? Like The View is not on?
No, The View is still on, I think. But they don't
they don't have writers. They're just spewing nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, so Drew Barrymore tried to bring her show back. Didn't know she had a talk show. She's got a talk show. Bill Maher, or however you pronounce his last name, he wants to bring his show back, but just like the interview format, not like the monologue stuff that he does. But they're just getting all this criticism, or like Drew Barrymore got removed as like a host of some award show because they're like, you have to show solidarity with the union. It's crazy. And so it's getting to the point that they're warning now, like, look, the whole TV season is over if this doesn't get resolved in a week or two.
No shows for a whole
There's going to be no shows. You remember how, like, for a few weeks, a month or so, there was no shows in 2007? This is going to be like
Seemed
the whole
like
season.
A long time back then.
Dude, it's great. And I think what is awesome is I don't think they recognize that this is going to reprogram people to just, like, not... Like, they'll just start watching more YouTube.
Yeah.
They think that it's like, oh, when we come back, it'll be great. Everybody will be excited.
No.
I think at a certain point, I think that it's the first generation that doesn't have all this. There's no nostalgia for. Yeah, a lot of like people still watch TV because that's something their parents did. Mm-hmm. Kids aren't turning on TV anymore. They're watching stuff on the internet. Anyways. I think that it was always going to collapse eventually, but them doing it themselves is not the twist I expected.
No, that's hilarious.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know it was still going on.
Every day I check. Every day I'm like, is this still? It's still nothing. Still no hope. I've heard rumblings, like people in the industry said. I've heard that this is going to get resolved and production's going to ramp back up in January, but who knows if that's true? So it's just great. I'm sorry to all the crew members and stuff, the camera people that are out of jobs due to no fault of their own, just trying to enjoy the their passion in life.
Well, I saw that I didn't connect this until now, but I saw online people were making fun of the the comedians, the late night guys.
Oh yeah, that was something else I was going to mention.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you know about this?
Well, I just thought they were doing something together, and I was like, why are they doing this? It looks stupid. It wasn't even good. And then
Did you watch it?
I just watched them commentating.
Oh,
about
okay,
it.
okay,
But they
okay,
showed
okay.
like a really.
I
weird,
haven't seen it.
Oh, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's why I didn't watch it.
It was
I was like,
funny.
sometimes it's fun to watch awkward things because they're
yeah.
awkward, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to watch you in general. Why would I watch you without writers?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So it's all the
How
late
bad
night
it
guys
was.
who have a podcast now called Strike Force 5 or something, like Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert. Like, so what's funny right now too is that there was this whole big expose about Jimmy Fallon that just came out that he has a hostile work environment. He comes in drunk and yelling at people. Hey, look, they didn't mention in the latest episode, but that's because it was pre-recorded. Okay, they'll have to address it eventually. It's just so funny. It's like, dude, nobody cares about you guys anymore. Nobody cares about your stupid controversies. Nobody cares.
So funny
That you're not getting paid. I mean, I don't care. Look,
is that why they're doing the show? Because they don't have writers?
They don't have writers, and so they're doing it to. Well, they say they're doing it to benefit their staff members who are out of jobs. But you know, I think that at a certain point, those kind of people just need to be in front of people.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know,
Josh.
I think they're afraid. Like, look, these late night shows are going to come back. Nobody was already watching them.
It's going to be great.
Oh man, it's going to be so funny. Anyways, it's like getting to the point where it's almost guaranteed to be some kind of paradigm shift. When everything comes back, it's going to be like it's the before the strike and after the strike.
How long has it been going on?
I believe like a third of the year now. It's about 4 months. Awesome. Okay, so let's get to at least 6 months. I believe in us. Let's get past Christmas. All right.
We recommend. I found that a lot of it gave me hope just transfers to my we recommend. So I was going to recommend walking 4 miles a day, but I changed it to sprint final again.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
It's just such a fun game, man.
We need to get more people on there.
Yeah, we've got there were some people on there who joined, a few, not a ton. But there were a few of you guys who joined.
I saw the one guy made his name have cow at the end.
Yes, so we knew that.
Everybody should have cow at the end. That way we can have a ranking on the podcast and say, here's everybody's current rankings.
And then all the fronts are like, what's up with the cow thing?
Why are there cows? The Americans
We'll
are
never
such
say
idiots.
anything. It's a cycling game online, but it's like a card-based game. And you can play with people. It's very strategic. It has some luck in it, but you can minimize the luck by understanding the theory of the game. It's very much, in my mind, like chess. You have two riders against other riders. Each person that's playing has two riders, and you kind of work together to try and get one of them to the finish line first.
It's basically a big game of chicken. It's like, okay, who's going to use their big cards first to try to break away from everybody else? And if they break away, will they be able to maintain that distance without us catching up? Because every turn you're in the front, you're gaining exhaustion cards onto your deck.
Yeah.
Which is basically like trash in your deck that doesn't do much for you. So the people that are in the pack are not taking that. So they have more good cards to play from. It's just and
if you don't break away significantly enough, then if there's one space between you and the person who tried to break away, you draft up with them and take that space. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that if you do that, you really make a gap so that they take some pain for not playing a high card as well.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of trying to figure out what the important spots are in each map, because each map has different terrain and there's different perks of different things. So
this whole site is like basically in beta right now. Like there's one guy working on it, and he's like actively like just trying to make it all better. Yeah. And so it's a little buggy at times, but it's
gotten a lot better.
It feels like we're on the ground. Yes, it has gotten better. It feels like we're on the ground floor of something really cool. Great site. There's like 150 people on there right now. Yeah. You're still ranked 1. I think I'm currently ranked like 20.
I saw you're on 22.
There we go.
And I have a secret channel about Sprint Final. If anybody's searching anything on how to play the game or strategy, you will come across what I have.
All right, Jordan, I had a book idea the other day.
What is it? Are you gonna? Well, you can't tell it.
I mean, I can say just a little bit. I had it's the first time I've had a story idea that actually had a beginning, middle, and end when I had the idea for it. Not just like, oh, it would be interesting to write a book about this.
Yeah.
And so I decided to just like take hold of it.
Yeah.
And say,
Inspiration.
okay, look, if I am going to ever write a book, I should probably write this book because I know how it ends. I just had the idea for a book. What would happen if a little boy found out that his dad was a superhero? And
yeah, it's interesting.
There's more to it than that, but that's like the back of the
Yeah.
book synopsis. What happens when you find out your dad is a superhero?
That's a cool idea.
So, but it's not, as with most good books, hopefully it'll be a good book. That's not really what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about something else, but without, giving things away. And I'm kind of figuring it out. But anyways, the recommendation isn't that you start anticipating my book. The recommendation is that if you are going to write a book, that you get an app called Scrivener.
Oh, is that the one you can't? Yeah, he asked me. Josh messaged me the other day and asked which I would recommend. I was like, I don't know. I know some about other types of writing, but not books.
Right. So I did some research on what is the best, because they have specific apps specifically designed for people that are writing books, because a word processor like Microsoft Word is not great for that, because you got to have a document open for every part of your book, or you got to have the whole thing in one document. How you ever find anything, forget it.
Yeah.
So there are apps specifically built for writing books, and I had heard that Scrivener was the best one, but I also heard it was the hardest to start using. It was the most complicated. So I was a little bit intimidated, but it was so funny. Like I downloaded it. For one thing, it's got like a 30 or 60-day trial, but it's not from the date you download it. It's 30 days of use. So I could use it over the course of a year if I only use it 30 different days. Which is cool.
Interesting. That's cool.
But it makes sense. Like if I spend 30 days working on a book, I'm certainly going to just buy the because I've got it all in there.
That is smart.
But the tutorial is fantastic, and it says it'll take 2 hours to do. It took me like at least 3 hours.
Yeah,
because I have a hard time doing that kind of thing. But I stuck with it. It was good enough that I could keep up with it, and it's very intuitive. It's just funny, and it's like if you don't have the discipline to go through a tutorial for a piece of software, you're not gonna have the discipline to write a book. Anyway, so I'm about, I don't know, a little over 1,000 words into it right now, but it's really cool because you can either have like different documents for different chapters or even just different scenes. So
cool.
And then when you have your scenes, you can look at them as like a pegboard, and then you kind of move. Oh, maybe this scene actually goes here, and this one goes here.
Oh, neat. That's cool.
And then it changes, and then when you can go to compile it at the end, just all your different scenes or chapters or whatever, it just puts it all into a book for you.
Wow, that's neat.
So I'm really excited to
I'll
keep
have to
using
look up that
Yes,
tutorial.
and it's only like $60.
To buy, is it a monthly thing? You gotta
No,
buy
that's
it?
the thing. Most of the other ones are subscriptions, and they're all like in the cloud and all this stuff. This one is just one guy developed it basically.
Okay.
And he's just like, look, I'm a writer, and there was nothing good, so a lot of times updates are very slow, or like the cloud service is like, hey, you have to sync it up with Dropbox, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's not like intuitive. It's not like he doesn't have your files somewhere up there in the cloud. That's on
cool.
Dropbox.
Wow.
So anyways,
Well, I'm excited to read that. That's going to be fun.
I hope that you like it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just hand it to you when it's done so I can get your honest feedback about the whole thing.
That's what you should do.
We shall see.
Yeah, that's actually great because we're both writers. If I ever wrote something, I could give it to you,
That's right.
and then you could critique it and say, hey, this doesn't make sense, and what is this sentence structure?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I'm excited. Oh, and one more cool thing about it too is that you can say, hey, I want this to be 30,000 words, 50,000 words, and I want to be done with it by this day, and I'm going to write 3 days a week. And then so every time you open the app, it'll say, hey, you need to write 500 words today.
That's cool.
And so it keeps you a little like meter on the top as you're writing to say, hey, now you've completed it.
That's neat. That's neat.
Scrivener.
Sounds like a Harry Potter character.
It's one of the houses. Oh, you're from Scrivener. You're one of the bad ones. All right, is that it?
That's the end of the episode. I wonder how long this one's going to be. I'll say if you're editing it, I would say
I feel like mine end up being a little bit longer usually.
I probably edit out too much.
But I feel like I do too, and they're still long.
I know.
So.
I don't know. An hour. Well, maybe I talk more because I don't have to edit it. So I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about what I say.
That's true. Yeah.
I'd probably say it's an hour 5.
Hour 5. I think it'll probably end up being under an hour.
Really?
Just under. Yeah. Just under.
Good news, bad news went on for a while. Depends on how you edit that.
That's true. That's true.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I got to go to Panera. See ya.